What's going on, gamers? So this is an interesting one here. I found this earlier today, and this was put up. Let's see now, looking at Digital Foundry's video as it's going to 45,000. This was on their clip section 14 hours ago. PlayStation 5 Pro 3 months in, has your opinion changed for the worse? Are we ready for this? Because this is going to be very interesting. You know, it's what I told people a long time ago, before it came out, that it's not going to be on the level of a 4070. They need to understand how things work and that it is a mid-range PC. Um, and that the upgrade in there is just a GPU upgrade, basically. And it's going to try to compete or go past a 4060 RTX 4060 on the NVIDIA side. And some people just didn't want to believe that. And the best that it could ever get is trying to get in the face of an RTX 4060 Ti, but it can't beat that. The Ti has it clearly over almost 20 teraflops, whereas the Pro is at 16.7. It also doesn't have a fully integrated AI system. It has no tensor cores or matrix cores or any of that. It doesn't have an NPU aspect as well. Everything from the PSSR, which is a lightweight AI model, is based off of the GPU in there. It has to use some of that GPU to use PSSR. That's why it's not going to give you an amazing frame boost like you would see coming from a NVIDIA system, even FrameGen itself. Because when you think about the consoles themselves, they're APU units, so they kind of put the GPU and the CPU in a certain type of combination. They're not fully integrated with the full watts as you would get out of a CPU and a GPU on a desktop or a motherboard. And PSSR also was not ready. It had a lot of issues, you know what I mean? And then Sony tried to like put an extra $100 on it and forced a 2 terabyte in there, which I think if you were going to do that, you would have been better off giving people, hear me out, a better CPU, because that's something that is always going to be usable. And not only that, that's something that you can't just upgrade. You know what I mean? Somebody can go get a 2 terabyte if they want, 3 terabyte, 4 terabyte, and put that in a PlayStation 5. Somebody can go get a hard drive if they want. But when it comes to the CPU, you can't do anything about that. So if they would have made a smart decision to put it at 700, I would have at least made a slightly better CPU, but they didn't do that. Console should have been $600. So like I'm describing, let me know what y'all think. Get ready for this because this is going to be an interesting one. I found a tweet right here from Gas when it says Icon Era won't like this, right? And I went ahead and liked it, and that led me into this. So let's go. Are we ready here? This is where the tweet starts.
Well, it's a two-parter. PS5 Pro, what's the opinion now that we've had more experience with it? I'll be honest. I think in the first 3 months since it released, it's been one of the most underwhelming hardware releases I've had to cover in many years. And
Ooh, man, that's some smoke right there for Sony, man. If you guys didn't know either, the PS5 Pro, uh, there was an article on Twitter saying too that it's underperforming. So PS5 Pro is not selling like the PS5 Pro. It's kind of falling behind. The PlayStation 5 Pro sales have fallen behind PS5 Pro in the US. Matt Piscatella said that officially, just to let you guys know that. Which I told people that's going to start happening. The only way this console is going to get any sense of boost is slightly for Monster Hunter Wilds. That will help, but the biggest boost is going to be for GTA. But that's going to boost everything. More PS5s will sell, more Series S's and X's will sell too. It's going to boost everything. But it's sad that they have to do that because when they launched it, there's no games and everything gets canceled. It's kind of like the most pointless release at that time. They would have been better off at getting the console to release closer to GTA than releasing it last quarter.
I have to be blunt about that. It's been
He's fucked.
not a catastrophe. It's been interesting, intriguing sometimes.
Yeah.
But as far as its saleability to people who, especially for the price, it is a hard sell. And I think it's appealing to a very fractional part of the gaming community who just want the very best tech in the console space right now. And that'll kind of be overshadowed by quickly with whatever PC does with so many ports coming from Sony of their own properties to PC. I think there's the argument for it is weakening a little bit with quite a few games kind of popping over. So I'm, from a Digital Foundry perspective, it's great to have, and it's fascinating, and there will be maybe a growing use case for it, depending on whether developers pivot most of more resources to it for, a predominant amount of their, optimization on the game. But I just see base PS5 as being the one that they target. Yeah, so it's been interesting. I covered Dragon's Dogma 2, which was a good implementation. I think I recall some flickering with the GI.
Yeah, I did when they were inside that house. Guys, when I covered this on my channel too, before I was doing the PS5 versus Xbox, drama and entertainment, and also like speaking facts that some people can't handle, I was doing a lot of PS5 Pro versus PlayStation 5, PS5 Pro versus PC, PSSR versus DLSS, TSR, which is what Unreal usually uses and was used by Epic Games, and then even XeSS, which is Intel's AI upscaler. And honestly, PSSR was definitely last place. And now with FSR4 about to launch, DLSS4 already came out. XeSS2 already came out with the ARC series, right? TSR is already better. It's taking a hard 5th place. Trying to battle for 4th if it could, but yeah, and that was kind of the pushing point of selling the PS5 Pro, right? Right, and then the mid-range GPU in there, because which is even more of a mid-range now with the new cards launching, and also AMD about to launch stars. Even Intel is beating the 4060 by giving people more VRAM. So yeah, I wonder what Reforce has to say about that. If you guys haven't watched that one clip, I'll put a video up too, or the video may actually be out before this. He was trying to say that the PS5 Pro would be a better deal and beat most gaming PCs in the market. I could find it real quick for you guys if you want. Honestly, all I would have to do was go to Astro Cyborg's page. He does a really good job. I like his page, and we'll find it real quick. Check this out. I'm going to get something for you guys real quick. You guys are going to have a good laugh at this. It is, because I know where this is at. It's going to be, yeah, right here.
Is far superior. It's crazy.
You ready for this?
You seem to care. You sound butthurt. No, I could psych profile you. To be factual. I feel so attacked now.
You ready?
I'm sorry if any of you caught strays on that. I'm sorry if any of you guys caught strays on that. Listen, right now, factually, you could spend, as a consumer, $700 on the PS5 Pro, and it outperforms the vast majority of gaming rigs in the market. That is an objective fact. That is not opinion. Go to the tech.
That's an objective fact. That's not an opinion. You see the game that he's trying to play here and be crafty. You guys are going to see this in another video with him, but this is an example right here of a Sony liquor. A Sony cancel rainbow balls liquor right here. Reforge. Get them out of your mouth, buddy. There he goes again. Corporate shilling for Sony to try to make it seem like the PlayStation 5 Pro is a great deal and everybody should get that over a PC game machine. I wouldn't tell them that. I'd spend an extra few $100 and go into the $1,100 range and build a nice desktop. Hell, even with the 5070 laptop that Jensen Captain America with his shield and the CES, so that with the DLSS 4 you can get up to level of a 4090. Obviously with DLSS, obviously not the 4090 you have in DLSS on. But the point is it's like, no, dude, the deals you can get now, no, definitely if you get good deals on those parts, customly. Like I said, laptops will beat that, no problem.
Outlets, go to the reviews, go to the breakdowns, go to the actual hardware reports from Steam. And what you're saying is factually untrue. If you buy a PS5 Pro right now for $700, it is absolutely stronger and will perform better than a significant portion of the PC gaming audience. Now, the PC Master
Oh man, this Jimmy Neutron villain is funny.
Race guys.
Or Nickelodeon villain.
They will never acknowledge this. They always act.
Bro, you know what's so funny about this guy is that he thinks that you're just spending 700. With tax, you're at like 750. You want to get a hard disk drive, you're at 800. You got to pay $100 a year for plus. If you want to do with the premium games, you're spending up to 120 with tax. We're already reaching the 900 plus range. What if you don't have a VRR TV? The majority of the gaming community doesn't have a VRR TV. You know how much that's going to cost you? Yeah, you don't want to play that game. Why would you do that when you can get a high-end gaming PC?
Act like that's not true, or they'll gloss over it and they'll claim that PS5 Pro is a scam. It sucks. The PSSR flopped. Okay, they're liars. They cannot acknowledge the truth because they.
I've seen 11 games have issues with that. I'm pretty sure there were more, but I just stopped covering it. People that was watching that on my channel months ago knew that.
Don't deal in truth. They deal in ideology. You have to get to the point where you can tell the difference between somebody who's giving you an ideology and someone who's just giving you the facts. Like, I have no problem saying, oh yeah, you could spend that much money and it would be stronger. Yeah, and that would be a perfectly fine choice. If you want to spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, I don't care. If you want to spend it on a PC, man, that's totally fine. You
don't even have to do that. You could spend around $1,100 or $1,200 and be fine. But it's a good investment. You wouldn't want to build anything close to $700. If you had the chance, get something much better. It's just stupid. It doesn't make any sense to me. So there's that. Let's get back to this.
Which was a downside. Then there was Black Ops 6, which had these white speckles, which is either fixed or will be fixed already. And then what was the other one? Silent Hill 2. That was it. Then that was
not
the
good. That
had problems.
No,
that was terrible.
Yeah, so those were my first few impressions of PSSR as a technology, and to be honest, that was just 3 very different engines: RE engine, Unreal Engine, and the IW's own tech in house. So it does occur to me that there's a difference in the adoption of different engines, third-party technologies using PSSR as opposed to Sony's in-house studios and their own engines, which maybe got a bit more priority within the first few months when it was the PS5 Pro released.
Yeah,
and I think those teething issues are going away quite quickly, and now we're past that hump. We're going to see a lot far better implementations of PSSR going forward, but it was a pretty
there's something wrong with that. That's
not
good.
a great first impression. It by no measure, it was just
That's because they rushed it out in the holidays to try to get some sales to make their numbers look good. But at the end of the day, they could have waited because it felt like an unnecessary launch, and it should have not been that price. For consoles, like, people want entry levels. You know what I mean? That's why not a lot of people are getting it, and then the sales are falling behind. And they'll only pick up with GTA mainly. And then even then, most people still are just going to want to play GTA. So, yeah, they kind of missed the ball with that. Sony's made a lot of mistakes this generation.
bad sort of first impression there.
Yeah.
But that's where it is now anyway.
Yeah, I see this similar to both of you, but I also want to bring out an analogy of like when RTX 2000 came out touring, you couldn't really see a lot of the core benefits of that hardware right away, and it took a while. And I feel like PS5 Pro and what that means for the future of Sony is going to be similar to that, where the initial benefits, as much as that doesn't sell a product, so much for that, the initial benefits, we'll be seeing it more as time goes on. And I think especially more, we're going to be seeing a lot more Unreal Engine 5 titles, as we just saw today with that state of play. And all of those will benefit immensely from the PS4 Pro's GPU. Resolution, specifically potential use of hardware ray tracing, another big benefit there. And I think those are all good things for PS5 Pro owners. PSSR is the one that I'm actually a little bit, now as time goes on, I'm a bit confused at what its future is. I think it will improve. We saw the same in PC space with XeSS and also DLSS since its 2.0 version. Yeah. But with FSR 4 on the horizon, and whatever happens with PS6 and this Amethyst deal, if something like FSR 4 comes out and we immediately see that it is far superior to PSSR, I'm curious what PSSR's trajectory is then for, either for PS5 Pro or for PS6, or it just ends up being some sort of evolutionary dead end at some point, kind of like DLSS 1 was, right? Or kind of also like checkerboard rendering became, in maybe not always positive way, in the FSR 2 era, where it just disappeared. I'm just curious to see if that ends up happening with PSSR, or if it starts its own evolutionary path next to FSR 4. And I don't know about that yet, but that's something that could potentially be happening in the future.
So there we have it. They found it to be underwhelming because the main selling point was PSSR, which was a letdown at the beginning. They fixed a lot of things. They even added an update for it, but it's still not nowhere near the level of DLSS, because the DLSS it was trying to compete with was in the 3 tier. Now DLSS is 4 now, and it's freaking sonic speeding past it. FSR 4 is about to do the same thing. XeSS 2 from Intel now is past it. TSR was already better than it because it didn't have any issues. But if it gets even more better, it can get up in its face and try to compete for 4th place. But at the moment, yeah, the PS5 Pro is not anything that is mind blowing, and it's not that impressive. And we feel like that $100 Concord tax is not really going to do it any benefit either. $600 would have been a much better deal, but like I said, they made dumb choices on why they wanted to charge you for that for the 2 terabyte. Which I think is a mistake. So, like, come subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. This is just something else to cover differently. You had some people thinking that I only do certain type of content, but that's what I'm doing lately because Sony needs to be criticized more than ever in the history of gaming. So I do all types of content on this channel, and the people who've been me for a while have known that. I've even done the Assassin's Creed coverage, and I've done even gaming content for a while too, and I'll be doing more over time. But I feel like the past few months and up to this point, the main thing that I'm focused on is important, and I will continue to keep doing that because it's a great thing too. People enjoy it, and there's a balance here. So, y'all, peace out. Have a great day. And for those of you that do have a pro, if you're enjoying it, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But we're just speaking the truth here in the public. For those of you that have the PS5, going through the stuff I've been doing, I've never attacked you. I don't attack gamers and people that want to game. You guys know who I've been after. It's the ponies, and that's a little bit of a different story here. All right, y'all. Peace.